Idle Hands. The movie opens up with a really cool establishing shot of a house that is heavily decorated for Halloween. This is where we get a short introduction to our main character's parents, right before they are brutally murdered by an unseen foe. After all the murder, we cut to the next morning where we meet our main character of the film, Anton Tobias, played by Devon Sawa. Your basic run-of-the-mill freeloader, stoner, middle-aged teenager character that seemed to be extremely popular around this time. Jeez, toke it up. He turns on the TV and he sees a news report about a slew of murders across the town.
The killings have spread from a local postal route to the bowling alley and now to our own burger jungle.
He doesn't give a crap though. He just continues to smoke weed when he finds out that he's actually out of the bud. So he heads out to get more green.
This ain't Domino's, you lazy bitch. Come over here and get it.
And this is where we meet the hard-ass metalhead next-door neighbor, Randy, played by Jack Noseworthy.
Nice outfit.
And this is where we also meet my two personal favorite characters, Mick and Panab, played by Eldon Henson and the one and only legend himself, Seth Green.
Anton, all you do is smoke pot and watch TV all day. Now, don't get me wrong, that's what life is all about, but don't you think you should have some ambition?
After they bullshit for a bit, we can hear the roar of a motorcycle cruising down the street, and then enter the sexy Molly, played by Jessica Alba.
Molly's lived across the street from me for like what? Ever?
Apparently Anton has a super crush on her, but she has no idea that he even fucking exists.
Drop the lyrics for her.
Hey, she's gonna catch you reading that shit over her shoulder in biology class.
Her songs are badass, man. She's like a poet or something.
This is your chance, bro. You better go for it, bro.
Just go talk to her, man.
Well, he goes over, but he totally pusses the fuck out.
My book! Thank you so much for returning it.
Cut to somewhere in Utah where we meet Debbie LaCure, played by Vivica A. Fox. Turns out she is actually on the hunt for some evil force that is apparently trying to take over and destroy the world. On his way home, Anton gets busted by two cops. These two pig fucks actually used to go to high school with Anton back in the day, and I guess you can say they weren't friends.
You and all your stoner friends zipping around on your skateboards. Thought you were too cool for us, huh?
He then, for some dumbass reason, tries to score some bud off the cops.
What are you guys holding? What?
The fuck? They write him a ticket like dickheads and let him go. Later on that night, Anton still has no weed because this movie's gotta have its weed, you know? And he is dead set on getting blitzed. So he tries out a blend of nutmeg and oregano that his friend suggested, and he immediately regrets his decision. He's about to make a sandwich, I guess, when he notices that he's not the only one in the house.
Shit, the killers! This is my house!
He runs up to his parents' room to hide under the covers like a 5-year-old when he sees a creepy message written on the ceiling. He hauls ass back downstairs, and then this happens. Well, at least you finally found your folks. Mick and Panab come over and don't even notice the dead bodies on the floor literally right in front of them because they're too busy getting the fuck down the 2 Live crew.
Yeah, someone killed my parents!
It was the best part, dude. Hey!
Look!
When Beavis and Butthead, Bill and Ted, Mick and Panab, snap the fuck out of it. They see the two dead corpses just chilling on the floor.
What the fuck are you doing, man? That's my dad. Come on.
CPR, man. I saw him on Baywatch.
Some more clues are found at the scene that are oddly linked to the other crimes that have been happening around town.
You know what that means?
Alstein twins.
But all signs seem to be pointing directly the fuck at Anton.
The killer was wearing me. I'm the killer.
After figuring out that Anton is indeed the killer, Mick goes to call the cops, but he ends up getting a little murdered instead. Panab attempts to escape through the basement for some reason, and he gets murdered too.
Everything's gonna be cool, man. Everything's gonna be...
We get this hilarious Evil Dead 2-esque scene where the Hand is taking over the channel surf. When Bones gets curious about all the action going on the couch, we get this hilarious scene here. Then after he murders his friends and flings the cat out of the window, the Hand guides him over to Molly's house to introduce himself.
Aren't you a little old for Ding Dong Ditch?
Sorry about your bush.
He fights the Hand's evil urge to murder poor Molly, but it just ends up getting him laid instead, because the edgy 90s, I guess, right? Still kind of weird seeing the same guy that played the human form of Casper getting it the fuck on. Awkward. Cut back to the Tobias residence, where we see Anton giving his parents and friends a proper burial.
We're gathered here today because you're all dead.
When he hears Mick's voice coming from under the ground. Well, I guess you can't keep good buds down.
Hey! Watch it, man.
Anton wakes up the next day and can swear that it was all just one crazy-ass dream. Well, at least until he goes downstairs and sees just how not a fucking dream it really wasn't.
Hey. Oh, shit!
Anton finally comes to the conclusion that his hand may in fact actually be fucking possessed.
The only thing I can come up with is it's gotta be possessed.
But he's in luck because the boys know just the guy who can help him out. It's the metalhead hard-ass Randy, and he thinks Anton is basically out of his fucking mind.
It's like it's got a mind of its own. It makes me do things I don't want it to do.
He then gives Anton a little piece of advice, and as well name drops the title of the movie.
Idle hands are the devil's playground.
Oh, and remember the assholeian cops from earlier? Well, they roll up on the scene and discover that Anton is the killer.
Holy shit, it's Anton. He's the killer.
So they bust in, and after some comedic back and forth, they also get murdered. Jam! Crispy fried style! Well, he couldn't just let them go, I guess. After the 187 has been committed, Anton comes to the realization that the only way out of this hands-on ordeal is to go all Evil Dead 2 style and chop the sucker off.
You scream like a girl.
He also puts the evil hand in the microwave, and we get this pretty badass scene here.
Gross.
But now, the evil hand is on the loose to run amok across the town.
Whoa.
Over at the bowling alley, Debbie is still on the hunt for the evil when she comes across Metalhead Randy, and he informs her of Anton's demonic situation.
This guy, Anton, he told me that his hand was doing stuff that he didn't want it to do.
And Anton has a bad feeling that the hand is going to go to the school dance. So they head out to stop the evil and kill that fucking hand. Then we see the hand is getting in on a little threesome action.
It's here.
And this is where we get a really cool performance by one of my favorite bands of all time, The Offspring.
24 hours ago, I wanna be sedated. Nothing but you know it. I wanna be sedated.
Fucking badass. We then cut to the principal's office where we see him doing some weird pervy shit on the phone for some reason. When this happens. Jam it! Oh, and we also get this pretty fucking gnarly scene here. Debbie finally decides to introduce herself to Anton.
My name is Debbie LaCure. I know what's happening, Anton. I can stop it.
And this is where Debbie warns him that the hand is going after his girlfriend next.
If your girl's the one it's after, then at midnight, it's taking her to hell.
Anton races to the gym to warn everyone at the dance about the fuckery going on. When the hand goes ham, busts a couple dance moves of its own, killing tons of middle-aged teens in the process.
You had your fun, now it's time to...
You know, body count. Oh, and speaking of body count, we also get this pretty sick fan kill here.
You're really not gonna get me.
It's just unfair.
Well, you can go back if you want to get a piece.
And then we get another Evil Dead 2 inspired scene where Anton fights the hand just like Ash. It's fucking awesome. This is where the standard damsel in distress thing happens. So it's up to Anton to save Molly and her soul from this demon fucker.
Don't worry, Molly. We got it under control.
Little fucker's got a grip.
Plot armor kicks in and Mighty Joe Bong is here to save the day.
It's Mighty Joe Bong.
Anton blows the hand, the biggest hit of its evil little life, stoning it off its fucking ass. Just like any good horror movie, the hand comes back for one final scare. Well, that didn't go too well for you, you evil little hand fuck. With the help of his undead buds, he saves the day and his sexy ass girlfriend. But doesn't know that he's literally standing under a car and gets crushed.
Anton! Sweet Jesus!
You made it all the way to the end, huh? Just to get crushed by a fucking car. His friends finally cross over, and then Anton wakes up in a hospital bed in a full body cast when he sees his friends as angels. His guardian angels, I guess you can say. And right before they leave, they hit him with one final prank. And that's the end of the film. I totally recommend this film. Highly. Definitely a very good little horror comedy. Truly a hilarious thrill ride.
Oh, look at me! Look at me! I'm Leatherface!
The special effects, practical effects, and the makeup effects are all on par here. And not to mention the rocking late 90s soundtrack that truly takes you back to the time. You got an all-star cast and a pretty decent little story with a bunch of references to other horror movies. What else can I say, really, except get your hands on this flick and scope it out for yourself, because it's a true horror comedy classic. Idle hands, Scott86, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Monster Mash.
I was gonna get some. I really doubt it. That's it? No explosions? No hellfire? No...
That's